Hello and welcome to a very short discussion of Chapter 26 of Crow Country by Kate Constable. Just like the previous chapter, this is also a very short one, again building on this idea of the rising tension and heading towards the climax of the text. And that's represented nicely in the speedy reading of each of these chapters. There's only a few quotations that I'd like to go through for this one because I think most of it is quite self-explanatory and there's not a lot in the way of action that takes place here. As we start the chapter, we've got this interesting description here which draws on a lot of the sound imagery that we've seen in the previous couple of chapters at least. A melancholy drawl signalled the agreement of a distant crow. So it's almost as if Sadie's constantly being watched and constantly communicating with, or at least being directed by, the crow spirits that surround her. And we see this represented, and it's very subtle. Sadie picks up on it, but other people perhaps would not. Characters who are not as open-minded would miss such signals. And we get to this point here. "Hang on, Lockie," she whispered, "you can't die. It's got to be different this time." And of course we understand why she's saying that Lockie can't die, but it's got to be different this time. In Sadie's mind, Lockie is just like Jimmy Raven, who is injured on his own essentially and in desperate need of help. And instead of letting him die and saving Walter, because, neither of them really want to get into trouble for their previous actions, they're doing the right thing. And that's why she refers to things have to be different this time. She's not going to let the story continue in its vicious cycle. She's going to break that cycle here. So the dialogue that she shares with Lockie captures that, even though Lockie wouldn't understand what she's talking about. And a nice little simile here. Sadie said nothing, though her insides twisted like a wet rag. Really does capture her emotional state quite well. And then this reflection that she goes through, it was self-defense. It was an accident. She let her voice trail away as she heard the echo of Gerald Mortlock's voice. Now when Sadie first heard him utter those words, she was very quick to judge Gerald Mortlock. Yet now she finds herself in the same situation, and reflecting on those words that haunt her, she's now able to understand them because she's lived in a similar sort of event. So we have that very cyclical nature of story and history repeating itself, clearly represented through the reflection that Sadie goes through here. But of course, even though the story is repeating, she's not going to let it continue down the same path. She's not going to let it resolve itself the same way. And towards the end here we just see how comfortable Sadie is with the crow spirit being part of her life. And this recognition at the end where she says, "I'm ready now," she said, it shows that she has been empowered by this relationship and that she has grown as a character, and she's grown in confidence, realizing that she is able to work towards solving the ills of this town. She's able to do something to rectify the problems of the past, the conflict of the past. Alright, that's just a few of the quotes that are important in this chapter. I hope they help you analyse some of the other important quotations as well. This has been an ETV production brought to you by Printable Catholic College.